Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. So recently I did a video and I shared with you that I had a plan to delete my gladiator cards to access DEC, and I did so not necessarily because that price tag was massive, but because I think it opened doors for other opportunities that are pretty exciting, pretty interesting. And sometimes that's how you make moves in a game like this. If you're being wise about how you can stretch your dollar in Splinterlands, you might be thoughtful about the opportunities in front of you. Maybe you can sell something for what might seem trivial, but then multiply that by putting it into other things that move the needle in a bigger way. That was the vision, the plan, and that's what I've done. And I did sell the gladiators that I felt, I didn't need, that weren't helping. I generally speaking, it was all my gold foils because I have better regular foil copies of those cards. And second, I sold one of my legendaries because I didn't enjoy it. It's a Flagulon, I believe is what it's called. It's a magic with blast damage. I only had it at level 2. It did blast damage with 2 damage, and just kind of who cares? It's a relatively slow monster. Last time I played it was 4 months ago, so that plays into the conversation. And I can show you, I'm at 33,000 DEC. At this very moment, and I had 4,000 before I chose to take this action. So we're talking, 29,000 DEC, $29 worth of currency, cryptocurrency was put into my hands because I burnt gladiator cards that I won't use, didn't use, haven't used, and really that don't carry utility for me because I have a duplicate copy of them that are regular foil. Now I know gold foil gives you extra bonuses and lets you fight in certain tournaments, etc., but I don't personally do that. So this option might still exist for you guys. By the time I post this video, I assume it'll be, I think it's going to probably be March 20th when you see this video, which means you still have a few days. I think April 2nd is the final day when they're going to make this change where you won't be able to burn your gladiators for DEC. So if any of this sounds interesting, I recommend you stick around, see what that can do for you, but maybe even think through, and don't do it because I did it. Just be thoughtful about the opportunity in front of you and consider the future and what you want and etc. There's a lot of moving parts to a conversation like this, and I thought for a few days before I made this choice. But now that we've done it, what can we do with this DEC? My first thought is let's go to the marketplace. For one thing, one consideration at this very moment is absolutely got to be rebellion cards. Because one, I don't have them all, but two, because we know that the airdrops are meaningful. And when the airdrops are, when I can introduce new cards to my conflicts and get more airdrops as a result of that, especially while we're still earning Kai, we're ultimately going to get, I forget what the next one's called, something Rage or something. It's not Rage, it's like the next one we've seen anyways. And then the 6 summoners to come. Of course, I'm going to be excited for those. I want to get more airdrop points, not less. And so my thoughts definitely go over here to this. And I go, okay, well, $30, what's that going to do for me? I've been looking for, I want to say 2 weeks now, probably all of March. I've been looking on the marketplace, tracking the rebellion cards. I'm really looking at the gold foils because I want to maximize my amount of pointage, my airdrop points, mage wagon points, or in order to, like, per dollar spent. And gold foils are really the path to that. If you come in and you look at the cheapest regular foils, you're looking at 5 collection power for 7 cents. And it escalates quickly in terms of US dollar returns, US dollar cost. And so these are not the play, generally speaking. Now there's a quick way to summarize this. If you're curious about following along, you want to see what the costs might be to get the most collection power for the least dollar. You can actually search that using the compare function within Peak Monsters. So the CP of the card is the measurement by which you will determine how many HR you're getting. So every wagon is filled with cards, and the cards have CP, collection power. The collection power is a numeric value that helps contribute to your hourly production for airdrop chances. And every 100,000 points you accrue, you get 1 more airdrop chance, and every 250 chances you earn, you will get 1 guaranteed Kai. Then the guaranteed drop rates will change with the other monsters to come. But the more CP, the better. So in order to track the best value for your dollar from a rebellion card airdrops perspective, it's easy to just come in here and look at the compare window, best CP to cost ratio. And as we look at the regular foils, we're seeing $1 equates to 80 CP on the regular foils. That's the best regular foil available. But then when we switch over to gold foils, we see we get an increase. pretty significant increase. The best CP is $1 to 93. And I'll add that when we look at these regular foil numbers, it's kind of, let's say, false advertising, because if we look at the Swell Spore Beast, let's go over there. Okay, so this is a rare card. And you can see that I can get 16 copies for that price. 16 copies would give me, you know, less than 400 CP. That's not very much. Very, very little. And the truth is that the price is going to escalate relatively rapidly. There's another 3 copies for, you know, 0.2 cents more, but then we're already half a cent more for the next 12 copies, another half a cent more for 2 more copies. You see the escalation is really rapid. Now it's only, I know you might say, well, it's only half a penny or 2/3 of a penny, but if I want to buy a meaningful number of these cards, if like, look, it's 115 copies to make a max. I'm going to need to really move the needle in terms of this marketplace. There's only 171 copies on the marketplace. I'm going to need to buy 115 of them. If I go bulk buy, you'll see that it's not going to be an average of 25 cents. See, the average price is almost 28 cents, as opposed to if I buy 1 copy, it's less than 25 cents. That price differential is deeply impacting the overall collection power per dollar. And it's, you know, to give it a number, you can say that that is from 25 cents to 27 cents for easy numbers. No, it's closer to 28 cents. It's like a 3 cent increase. And you're talking about, it's almost exactly a 3 cent increase. You're talking like a 15% increase in the average BCX price, which means in a 15% reduction in the cost, in the collection power to cost ratio. So even though this seems perhaps enticing, reasonable, like pretty effective collection power per dollar ratio, the gold foils are far better because they are all naturally higher, but also because these are actually truly replicable. Like if you go in to look at the Swell Spore Beast from a gold foil version, you'll see that there's actually, you know, some copies of that card that can make that work. Look at this. There's 2 copies right there. $5.34. That is the card that the system is telling me is 93 collection power per dollar. And there's 2 of them. And I can get 1,000 collection power just by spending $10.60, 70 cents. And so you might feel like, I go, well, it's only a level 3, Dwayne. Who cares, right? Well, yes, that's definitely a consideration. I want to get a high level card from all of these Rebellion cards. And there are certain Rebellion cards I really want to excel at really quickly. So that does factor into my conversation about how I will spend the $30. But I'm just pointing out first and foremost that the collection power consideration can be boiled down, you know, generally speaking, to gold foils are far better. They're easier to buy. And that is driving my consideration. And for 2 weeks, I've been looking at gold foil Rebellions. I'm looking at commons, I'm looking at rares. Truly, the best price point is going to be the Rebellions, legendaries that you're accessing. And you're going to find that when you can steal a deal, you're going to get the best returns, because it's actually conceivable. You can see here the market value on Commander Goff is $80. Somebody recently sold a Commander Goff. I think we can actually determine this. Somebody sold the Commander Goff for $80. When did that happen? Yeah, I think so. 5 days ago, somebody bought one for $80. What I'm saying is bid buys. Bid buys on these cards can fill, and that you might need to sit and wait. You might need to have DEC in your wallet and just sit back and throw a bid up and see what happens. But when and if it happens and you get a card for almost 50, I think it's 50% off almost, isn't it? It's more than 50% off, right? Because no, it's about 33% off. 30, it's about 40% off kind of thing. That's a huge discount. So for one thing, you're getting a great discount. And if you want to put in a bid and you get a Baradalin for 80 gold foil legendary, you could flip that thing for 130 pretty darn quick. In fact, I bet there's yeah, and the same with Commander Goff. Same with any of these. 89 bucks will flip for 130, 91 will flip for 130, 92 flip for 150, etc. So bids work in that way really well. But secondly, you're getting an amazing collection power to dollar ratio at that point. You see 12,500 CP for 80 bucks would be a smoke and return in terms of if you have to pay the full price, you're in that collection point radius of normalcy from what we just showed for the commons, the rares, for the worst of those commons and rares, like the worst of the cards that have the highest CP return rates. So 80 bucks would be a steal. So I'm saying bids are highly effective at this, but you need a few $100s to really enact that from the legendary perspective. But the epics are probably certainly plausible. Throwing a $20 bid on a Harbinger of Chaos, which I don't really care about, I don't really desperately want, but man, if I had access to it from a CP perspective, would really move the needle. Again, something like this is in the ballpark. We see 92 collection power per dollar. But if we were able to buy this not for 27 bucks, but for $20, which is the high bid price, you see how dramatically that would change your return in terms of a collection power. So what I'm ultimately saying is I'm utilizing the money that I've accessed through Burning Gladiators, which is a limited time offer, because DEC will no longer be available after April 2nd for your Gladiator burns. And I'm going to use it strategically within the marketplace to access Rebellion cards so that I can increase my Rebellion airdrops. And I'm going to do so with bid buys because often I can see a savings in that way. But you do need patience. Maybe it's not going to come today. Maybe it's not going to come this week. I'm probably going to have to fight some bot that's trying to outbid me. But all that patience and timing and can pay off, where people, like I just showed, get amazing deals on, that $80 legendary gold foil. Great deal. Super amazing return in terms of the collection power, in terms of the airdrop return, in terms of probably the long-term investment because it's a gold foil legendary. So that's what I'm doing. That's part of how I'm going to put my money to work. It won't be on legendaries, obviously, but I probably will put down a bid on one of these epics that I'm interested in. And, I'm thinking maybe Crowry. I don't know how to say his name. Crowire. I'm going to say Crowire. But I'm also interested in maybe Infernal Firestone for that $16. And maybe Red Worm Hatchling because the high bids are so low. Thenelorian. I'm gonna have to decide. Not sure yet, but that's the path to which patience, using bid buys, and accessing discounts that I think will echo out bonuses to me, both in airdrops as well as long-term appreciation opportunities. Thanks, guys. I hope you're having an amazing day. God bless. Bye for now.